All right, guys. How's it going out there? Okay, guys, as usual, I'm going to give, a few minutes here for people to jump into the live stream. And I'm going to be going through some questions that some people asked earlier when I did the post about this. I got a couple of guitars here with me that I just picked up recently that I'm going to show you guys. So I know I'm a little bit late here, about 10 minutes late. Sorry about that. All right. All right, it's Sunday. I'm over in Los Angeles here. Beautiful day. It's been kind of hot out. But how's everybody doing? Okay. All right, guys, I'm just getting a few questions together that I'm going to answer in the live stream. All right. Somebody's asking there if I'm going to be doing upgrade or like mod videos, modification videos for guitars in the future. Absolutely. There's actually a video I've been working on. I just did a little work on it this morning. That's actually the reason I was a little bit late to this live stream. I'm doing a video that's sort of a collaboration with a friend of mine here in LA who's a guitar tech. And it's kind of like where we take a really, really cheap guitar and then make some upgrades to it, like on a very small budget, to turn it into a really cool guitar. So that's coming soon. So yeah, definitely. I know I haven't really done as many guitar upgrade, guitar mod videos lately, but it's definitely something that's coming in the future for sure. One thing that I'm thinking about doing is I have a couple of guitars now that have active pickups, and where they just have the plug-in connector. The pickups are just attached with a plug-in connector, like they're not soldered on. And so I want to use one or a couple of those guitars to swap out some different active pickups, like some different like aftermarket, in some cases really budget-friendly active pickups, like the Dragonfire ones or red actives, that kind of stuff. And so we can just, I just take the pickups, physically take them out, just plug them in. All you have to do. They all use this 3-prong plug-in connector, and then so we can hear the difference in these different budget brands of active pickups. So I'll get to a few questions very soon here. But first of all, guys, yesterday I went down to the All-in-One Guitars shop here in Los Angeles. And for those of you that don't know, they sell the Wolf guitars, or now they have their own brand, the AIO All-in-One Guitar brand. And one of the more popular videos I've done has been my review of the Wolf WLP, the sort of Les Paul style guitar, and it was it's in a beautiful transparent red finish. I think I have it. Okay, well, I have it in a case right now, but anyway, I love that guitar. I still have that guitar. It's been just a great guitar for me. But they have some new finishes that they have like a burst finish, and so I just got one of those, and I want to show you guys that really quickly because this finish is so nice on this guitar. So check this out. Okay, can you see that? So it's a nice transparent red, really nice flame on this. So this is similar to the guitar that I already had, but of course you could always have more guitars, and I need, in case I break a string or something, or somebody runs up on stage and steals it, I need a second one, of course. So the neck shape, all of that stuff is all the same, but they've made a few changes. They made a few upgrades really since I had that first one. So the nut is it's a bone nut. Now, also something else they did, which I think is a pretty cool thing. These are the same pickups that the guitar had before. These are the Destiny CNC wound pickups, but they've taken off the labeling. Before, the pickups were labeled with the brand name on them, but I guess there were some issues where the printing on the pickup would wear off kind of easily, and so as people are playing, they sweat on it or they rub their hand on it, and it would wear off some of the printing, and it just looks kind of bad because a lot of the printing was kind of like halfway wearing off. So now they're just doing the pickups that they don't have any printing at all on them, so you don't have to worry about it wearing off. And so it's the same. Technically, it's the same pickup. It's just they don't have the labeling on them. And I think in a way, it's kind of a cleaner look. I think I like it a bit better. But honestly, the burst finish, they've got, the red burst. They have a blue burst, which looks really, really nice also. And I love the burst finish. So I think this is going to be like this will be like the main guitar, and then the older one I have will be like sort of the backup version of this. But yeah, these things are really, really nice. So under $500 for these guitars. You can get them, I think you can get them with a gig bag or a hard case. And it's, it's pretty awesome. Oh yeah, and guys, I will be doing a proper video to show the updated guitar. I'm going to do sort of a comparison video between the older model and the new one, because I know a lot of people are interested in those guitars for sure. And I gotta grab one other thing here I want to show you guys. Hold on. Alright. So this is another guitar that I got recently, and this is one that a lot of people have been asking me to check out. So guys, real quick, I can see all your questions in the chat here. If you could just hold your questions just for a little bit, because I just want to show you guys the stuff I got, and after that, then I'll get to questions. It'll just be a few minutes here. Okay, so a lot of people have been asking me to check out Orangewood Guitars. And so, well, I was getting a lot of comments about this stuff, affordable acoustic guitars. So I got this just recently. And this is really cool. I believe this is called the Morgan Mahogany. Obviously, mahogany top, back and sides. It's like a matte satin finish on it. These guitars, I off the top of my head, I mean, they have a few different versions, and electric or unelectric or non-electric. But all of these guitars are right around like the $300 range, like $200 to $300 in there. And this is an acoustic electric, okay? And it's got a Fishman pickup in it. The controls are inside here, so you don't have any controls on the top of the guitar. So you're playing along, if you need to adjust the volume or the tone or something, you reach in here, and there are these little wheels that you can turn with your hand. So you can just do that, like, play and you're playing. So it's a very nice, subtle way, very cool way to hide the controls. So it just gives the whole guitar an overall cleaner look, and they don't have to cut an extra hole in the guitar, which is awesome. But yeah, so I'll be doing a review of this guitar pretty soon. I'm using it in another video I'm doing that has to do with like at-home recording, that kind of stuff, and it's a good opportunity to use an acoustic guitar. All right. Okay, guys, so that's just a little preview of some of the stuff that's going to be coming up. But as always, guys, please let me know what you want me to review, because I want to produce the content that you guys want to see. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys. Now, hit me with your questions. Let's get on to the questions here. Somebody's asking about the Gus G guitars. Yeah, I'm working on the doing a comparison of the old Gus G signature and the new Gus G signature from Jackson. So it's kind of like Jackson versus ESP. So guys, I got a few questions here. I'm just reading this off my my computer here, and I just want to. Some of these were asked in the last few days, so I just want to go through a few of these. Somebody's asking about my thoughts on the Schecter guitars, just that brand in general. I have two Schecter guitars, and one of them is the E1 Special, this one, which is awesome. I love that guitar, and I have another guitar. I have one of the Reaper Schecters, you know, really cool, kind of modern super Strat. To be totally honest, those two guitars are awesome. I love those, especially that E1 Special. That thing's awesome. It's got the Sustainiac pickup setup in it, infinite sustain, Floyd Rose ebony fretboard, 24 frets, great finish. I mean, it has all these awesome things that I love in a guitar, all in one guitar. It's really cool. To be totally honest, though, love older Schecter models. I think Schecter has always made good quality guitars, but for a long time, some of the styling of some of the Schecter guitars, I wasn't really into it. It was very sort of, 2005 kind of top hats and pinstripes. It had a very particular style to it that I feel kind of maybe didn't age very well. But in the past 2, 3, 4 years, they have really stepped up their game in terms of their finishes and just the overall aesthetics and the styling of the guitars. So now the stuff that's coming out of Schecter is really, really cool. And if you look, if you go down the internet rabbit hole and you look at some of the Schecter custom shop guitars, they're really, really nice. Beautiful. So yeah, Schecter guitars, thumbs up. Some of the older stuff I wasn't really a fan of, but the guitars they're putting out now are pretty awesome. All right. Okay, guys. As you can see, I've got a whole bunch of guitars in the background there. And I'll talk a little bit about some of the other stuff that I'm working on right now, like videos coming up. I'm doing a couple of different sort of collaborations. One of them has to do with recording, like at-home recording. It's also the same video I'm using that acoustic guitar for. The other one is I'm doing some videos with a classical guitarist. And this guy he literally, man, my hair is, I'm not having a good hair day here. Sorry for keep messing with this here, but so I'm doing some videos with a classical guitarist. And this guy, like no exaggeration, he has a doctorate degree in classical guitar performance. I mean, he is as educated as you can possibly be when it comes to performing classical guitar. He doesn't just have the education, he's a fantastic player. I mean, this guy is world class, an absolute perfectionist. So it's been really cool to work with them. So some of that stuff is already shot, and we're going to be doing like kind of another like video session later on to finish up some of that stuff. It's probably going to be like a 3 videos that I'm doing, that I'm collaborating with this guy. So it's really cool. So some of it is reviews, because I have a nylon string guitar It's a solid body nylon string guitar, really cool. And he's helping me with the review on that. And then I also wanted to do a video where it's like, if you want to start playing classical guitar, what are the fundamentals that you need to know? Like some basic exercises and things that you can start doing so you can start developing that technique, because the fingerstyle technique is completely different from you know, the rock stuff that I do. I'm not, I mean, I can pretend, but I really don't know what I'm doing when it comes to that stuff. So I've got this guy, and he's helping me with that, and he's, like I said, fantastic. So I think you guys, even if you're not like, even if you're like a total metalhead or something, the level of this guy's technique is so good that anybody who's interested in guitar, I think, will really enjoy these videos. So I'm looking forward to bringing you guys that. That's probably going to come out maybe towards the end of this month, I think. Yeah. So, all right, guys, let's have some more questions here. What do we got? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, guys, let's talk about some of the stuff that's been going on with Gibson, right? Man, I would not want to be in the person's shoes who is the PR person over at Gibson. What a disaster, right? Have you guys seen all this stuff aside from the Play Authentic video? Have you guys seen all this stuff where they're destroying the guitars that they couldn't sell? I mean, I get it. Like, I get it sort of from a business, from like that super like kind of narrow focused business perspective. Like, okay, well, we have this product, we don't want to sell it because they're bad products, there's something wrong with them, we don't want it getting out there and like destroying the Gibson name, which they have already done anyway. And so they're going to get rid of these things. But man, these videos of them running over, have you guys seen this stuff? They've got like hundreds of guitars out in this dirt lot, and they're running over them with like a backhoe, like a bulldozer, to destroy them. It's nuts. And I've heard this sort of excuses and stuff from Gibson, the business guys, saying that, oh no, well, these guitars are unsalvageable. There's nothing we can use out of them. But it just looks so bad, and Gibson is just, there's just so many things that have been working against them lately. Yeah, I wouldn't be, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being a brand that just gets sold like to another company, like some random company from China or something like that will buy the Gibson name because that company is having so much trouble, and then they'll start producing guitars or something like that. I feel like it's, and guitar players, especially on the internet, we talk amongst ourselves so much that I kind of don't really know how Gibson can recover from all the bad press that it's had lately. So, yeah, Ken, what? Gibson has issues with their guitars? Can't believe it. Yeah. Somebody's asking about if we're going to get another collaboration with the Guns and Guitars channel, Dan Thompson over at Guns and Guitars. I hope so. There's nothing that we have like really solid planned right now, but I do talk to him, pretty regularly, and I know he's doing this crazy thing right now where like he's like living on the road. Like, I guess his family, they sold their house and they moved into this huge RV, like a truck and an RV, and they're like basically just like driving across America, living on the road, doing this crazy thing. So I would really, if he comes through LA or California, I definitely want to get together with him and see if we can do something. At the very least, I'd love to get like some drone footage of him, driving the RV, and we could like throw a guitar out the window or something like that. Nah, I'm just joking, but yeah, I hope I can do. I love doing collaborations in general. Sometimes they're a lot of work, but they're really fun to do. All right, guys. Let's see here. So I'm just looking for a few more questions. I'm looking on the post that I made earlier on YouTube. I'm just seeing if I can answer some of these other questions here. Somebody's asking about a budget-friendly neck-through guitar, like a set neck or a neck-through guitar. I assume they're talking about, they want something that does not have a big neck joint on it. One guitar that I played a while back that I really liked, it was like that, was an ESP LTD, the M300 FM. It's a neck-through guitar. Has EMGs, a Floyd Rose Special, 24 frets, nice big jumbo frets. It was very cool guitar, and if you look around, you can find those guitars on the used market for like maybe $300 to $400, which is a really good deal for that kind of construction and everything, especially with those pickups. One issue I had with it was it was very susceptible to going out of tune with temperature changes. I think the reason for that is that when you have a neck-through guitar, you basically have one piece of wood that's running the entire length of the guitar. And wood changes depending on the temperature. Like it can sort of it can shrink or expand or flex a little bit, especially if there's moisture in the wood. I think because that was a less expensive guitar, but it still had that neck-through design, maybe the wood hadn't been completely dried out all the way, and so that guitar was very susceptible to the tuning of the guitar changing with temperature changes. It was so sensitive that my body heat, like the heat from your body, was enough to make the guitar go out of tune. So if you're sitting down and you have the guitar really close to you for a long time and you're like shredding away, that would actually make the guitar go out of tune after a while. And then if you take the guitar, you set it down, you let the guitar physically cool off, the tuning will go back to what it was before. So I use that guitar. There's a band I play in, great 80s metal band called Hellion. There's a band I play in, and back in like 2014, I think, we were working in the studio on this EP. It's called Karma's a Bitch. It's an EP you guys can go listen to. And I was recording all these solos, and I used that guitar, the LTD M300 FM. I used that guitar to record the solos on that album. It sounds great, the album, that guitar and the tone and everything. I was using a 50-watt Marshall dual super lead, one of the old ones, with a power attenuator, to be specific. The sound was fantastic, but I had to keep retuning the guitar as I was playing because of that. Because of the temperature changes. It was so sensitive to the temperature changes. So I would have to tune it to begin with, play it for a while. The guitar would heat up just from me holding it. I'd have to retune it, play some more. Then if I was taking a break or I'm done, I set it back down. Now it's cooled off. You have to tune it again. It was kind of a hassle. So my whole point with that is, that usually guitars that have a set-in neck versus a complete neck through, where it's like a set neck, but the neck kind of goes pretty deep, or sometimes they call it a deep set neck, where the wood from the neck goes kind of deep into the body, but it doesn't go all the way through the body like a neck through. Sometimes those guitars are a lot better for tuning stability than an actual neck through. Because if you're getting an actual neck through guitar, you got to be really careful to make sure the wood is completely dried out. Because if it's like a cheaper manufacturing, usually they're making them kind of fast. They don't take the time to let the wood dry out all the way, and so it makes, the whole point is that when there's more moisture in the wood, it makes the wood flex more, and it changes more depending on the temperature and the humidity and that kind of stuff. All right, sorry, that was kind of a long-winded answer. All right, guys. So, okay. Somebody's asking about a guitar. What's a good guitar to teach somebody on, like a younger person is going to start playing guitar. Man, sorry, I keep messing with my hair. This is really bugging me here. Okay, so somebody's asking, what's a good guitar to teach somebody on, like a nylon string, acoustic, or a classical guitar? So first of all, I think nylon strings are great guitars to learn on because the nylon is much gentler on your hands. And that's not to like wimp out or anything, but I think when somebody is starting to play guitar, anything you can do to keep them motivated, to keep them enjoying the process is good. Um, and you can always, you can learn some basic techniques on a nylon string guitar, and then you can go to an electric or a steel string acoustic. In general, I think people should always start with either a nylon string guitar or an electric guitar because those are just physically easier to play. Steel string acoustic is kind of the most difficult. Like it puts the most wear and tear on your fingers and your hands and everything. I think that's kind of the worst one to start with, to be honest. Um, as far as specific guitars, I mean the Thomann, the German distributor, and the Harley Benton guitars. There are some nice classical, or I should say nylon string acoustic guitars that they sell that are under $100. That's specifically what you're asking about here. So off the top of my head, I can recommend that. I do have a guitar called an Elica that I got for I think around $90, but I haven't been able to find that guitar really listed consistently. So sometimes it's a guitar that they have, and they just have it for a little while, and then they sell them out, and they don't have any more. But the Harley Benton guitars over at Thomann, that's they have those on a regular basis, and they have good QC and everything, and those are really good. So I would definitely recommend that one. All right. Um, okay, guys, I'm just going through. I'm reading some of these other questions here. Now, guys, don't start arguing in here. Okay, let's keep it positive. Hmm. Somebody's talking. Warren looks like Warren Baumgartner. Talking about the JS32 series from Jackson. Excellent guitars. I had a Kelly, the JS32 Kelly, and I still have one of the Dinkies, and it's awesome. The necks and the frets are so good, and those guitars are like $300. Really, really good. All right, guys. I'll do a few more questions here. We're gonna have to keep this live stream a little on the shorter side because I actually I'm working on a collaboration video later on today. So yeah. Oh, somebody's asking about the Bugera amps. Um, the Bugeras are great amps. I mean, if you're wondering like, oh, it's a cheaper brand or something, don't worry about that. I mean, they're really great amp. Right when the Bugeras first came out, first couple of years, they had some quality issues. In particular, they were using like a lot more plug-in connectors inside the amps as opposed to directly soldering the wires on. So they had some problems in the first couple of years, but any new Bugera amp that you buy now is going to be really solid. Basically, when they got to the Infinium series, they made some redesigns. Those are great amps. So the G5 that I have right there, or a G20, those are really great. Those are really great amps. I've had a lot of Bugera amps. This is the only one I have right now, but I had what was like a V55. It was like the vintage 55. That was good. It didn't have enough gain for the stuff I wanted, but it was a solid amp. I had a 6262, which is like a really like 120 watt high gain amp, kind of a 5150 um, sound. That amp was fantastic, and I had it for a long time, and that amp rocked. Um, yeah, I know. Yeah, Bugera is owned by Behringer. You know, people love to thumb their nose at Behringer, but I mean, honestly, guys, that stuff just gets the job done. If you go and you go into a lot of clubs here and everything around LA, and you look at the mixing boards and stuff, a lot of people are using Behringer stuff. It works and it's affordable, and it's working man stuff, right? It's like if you're doing a lot of gigs, I mean, people use that kind of stuff because you can bang it around, it's durable, it's not super expensive to begin with. If it gets, honestly, I hate to say this, but a lot of people use that stuff for live stuff, because if it gets stolen, or if it somebody dumps a beer in your mixing board or something, it's not gonna, you're not out like $4,000. The really not, the nice, like super expensive stuff, people use that stuff in studios. But when it comes to like everyday use, going out and playing, you know, a lot of people are using Bugeras or the Behringer stuff, or Gibsons, right? A lot of guys, they keep their real authentic Gibson at home and they play gigs with the Gibson. All right. All right, guys. A few other questions here. Best V guitar for 400 or less. 400 or less. Well, I think somebody already said it, but the Jackson JS32 King V or the Rhodes V, those are both going to be around $300, and those are great. There are also, I mean, there are some LTDs, but I don't know if you're going to find that under $400. Like the Alexi Leo. Sometimes on the used market you can get those. All right. Somebody's asking about how was my trip to Germany? So this was back in June. I went over to the Thomann store. Um, that whole trip was great. It was really great. It was very, very productive. I got a lot done over there. I've got I think like 16 videos that I shot while I was over there, and I've been slowly releasing those videos. I had never been to Germany before. I have a friend who lives over there. Shout out to Martin. But I had never been over there, so it was cool to be over there. And where I was kind of out in the country, or maybe you'd consider it suburbs, not in the city. I think it was about 45 minutes or an hour outside of Nuremberg. And it was really cool. Somebody described it as if the country was a golf course, and you just built a few houses on this golf course. It kind of looks like that. Like it's lots of fields, little tufts of trees, and a nice old house. Extremely clean. That was one of the things that was surprising. It was really, really clean. I'm here in LA walking around, and there's just like crap on the streets. And when somebody wants to get rid of their old furniture, they just dump it out on the sidewalk. Like that's a standard thing. And eventually somebody from the city will come by and pick it up. But in the meanwhile, sometimes it'll be like out there for like a week, and there's some old, like a stained couch or something, like just sitting on the sidewalk in front of somebody's house. I didn't see anything like that. And I went to the city, I went to Nuremberg, and even that was clean. So that was impressive from my perspective. All right, guys, let me take just a few more questions. I think we're going to have to keep this live stream to about 45 minutes. So maybe we can do another 5 or 10 minutes. And And then yeah, and then real quick. So speaking of Germany, back on the topic of Germany. So when I was in high school, I took a couple of years of German. They make you take a language, and that seemed interesting to me, and so I took a couple of years of German. But that was like a million years ago, and I didn't really remember very much of it. But when I went on this trip to Germany, okay, first of all, almost everybody speaks English over there, so it's not like you really have to know the language. But I am expecting to. I mean, hopefully, I'll go over there again, and certainly I like the guys from Tomon and everything, so I wanted to brush up on my German. So one of the ways I'm doing it is this. This is this book. Do you guys know Edgar Rice Burroughs, like the John Carter novels? This is like classic science fiction. Uh, don't base it off of the Disney John Carter movie. That was, anyway. But anyway, it's this huge. This is the author that wrote Tarzan and like a lot of this classic sci-fi fantasy stuff. So anyway, so this is a great book. It's kind of a pulp sci-fi novel, very classic. So what I did, and I had already read this book. So what I did was I have the original that I already had, and then I got a version of it in German. Okay, so now I have both books, the exact same books, but I have the German translation of it. So I can go through and I can learn interesting words like expressionless continents, or let's see, what's a good one? Ministrations. I don't know. I think books like fantasy books or sci-fi books, especially the older ones, they have a really interesting vocabulary that's used in it. So anyway, it's going to be weird. I'm going to go to Germany, and I'm going to be able to talk about spaceships and time travel and stuff, but then I won't be able to like order at a restaurant or anything, which is kind of hysterical. All right, guys. All right, guys. So just a few more questions. Sorry about my learning German tangent there. Oh, this is an interesting question. Somebody's asking about lightweight instruments and why are they not more popular? I think there's sort of a kind of a weird stigma around the weight of a guitar, and people always associate a heavier guitar with having a better tone. That's not really true, but I think there is that association. So I think people associate heavier weight with more tone and more quality. Um, Certainly, there are lighter weight woods like basswood, and sometimes people kind of badmouth it because a lot of cheaper guitars use basswood. But also, the Ibanez Gem is made from basswood. So yeah, but I honestly I think the whole reason there are not more lighter weight guitars, like specifically lightweight, is just there's this weird attitude towards it, where people think it's going to be a cheaper guitar, or they think it doesn't have the tone that a heavier guitar does. I think it's just it's just a guitarist sort of traditionalist mental kind of thing. It's weird. A lot of stuff like that. All right, guys, hit me with a few more questions, and then we'll wrap it up here. Hmm. Yeah, guys, good question here, Howard. Um, Asking about the new BC Rich. The brand has kind of been relaunched. I have not had a chance to try out any of the new the new versions of the guitars yet. BC Rich has gone through so many like changes where they've kind of relaunched it, or like brand new models. We're changing everything. They've done that a lot, and I I think one of the problems with that is they have made some really good guitars down through the years, but when they make a really cool, really good guitar, it's only around for a couple of years, and then they change the model, or you know, it goes under different management or something like that. I had a really cool Mockingbird. I had a BC Rich Mockingbird. It was like the STQ, I think it was. It was a neck through, beautiful neck through. It was made in Korea, I believe. Beautiful neck through, quilt maple top. All of the different the Veritone switch, all the, you know, the different tonal switching that you can get on there. Awesome guitar, and of course they don't make those anymore. I want to try and find another one. I ended up selling that, and I kind of regret letting it go. So I'm hopeful for BC Rich. Obviously they've made some crap, but they've also made some really good stuff, and I'm hopeful that the new the new models are going to be kind of rebuild the name, reestablish that company, because they have a long, very, very cool history. All right. All right, guys. Well, let's see if we have any more questions here. And again, I've got this Orangewood acoustic guitar that I'm going to be demoing soon. And I've got one of the new Wolf guitars. So look for those coming soon. I also have a guitar that it's actually in the frame. You guys can see it. It's a guitar in the background. I'm not going to point it out exactly. I'm not going to show it to you, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you can see it in the background right now. And this is something I'm going to be doing a video on coming up. This is a guitar I've been looking for a really, really, really long time. Very, very cool guitar. It is a reissue of an older model of a guitar. And this is one of these situations where I think the reissue was actually better than the original. But even the reissue, they only made for a short time. I'm really happy to finally find one. I found one that was like in good condition. I did find one a few years ago, but somebody had painted, like they painted it, and it was crap. They painted it with like a checkerboard finish. It looked terrible, kind of ruined the guitar. So I got one that's in totally original, original condition, in good condition, and I got it, and I'm going to be showing it to you guys soon, and you can see it behind me, but I'm not going to tell you exactly which one it is because I want it to be a little bit of a surprise. All right. All right, guys, we're coming up on 45 minutes. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Thanks a lot, guys, for everybody who got into the live stream here. I always love talking to you guys. Even if you're watching this video later on, go ahead, leave your comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. If there's anything in the video that you had more questions about. And also, I always love to hear your suggestions and things that you'd like to see me review, or videos that you'd like me to do more of in the future. If you want more lessons or guitar mod videos, interviews with other people, collaborations, anything like that, I would love to hear about it. All right, guys, fret level midnight. See you later. Always enjoy your comments. Dank Savage, thank you. You too. James, all right. All right, guys, I think we're going to end it here. Thanks again, guys, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will have a new video up in a few days. I'll see you then. Later.